Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Minority Report. It's a movie starring Tom Cruise, Colin Farrell, and a number of other people that you're just like, oh yeah, I've seen them in some stuff, they're really good, but I have no idea what the actor's name is. So, as always, I'm going to give the good, the bad, and the furry. To start off the furry, there isn't any. Moving on. So this movie came out in 2002, and it's based on one of the Philip K. Dick stories, short stories, and what I will say is that they do future prediction of this movie based on the technology that they had in 2002. To give you an idea, that's pre-iPhone days, okay? And so they were predicting of what technology would be like in this time period. And I want to say, I think they got a surprising number of things correct. I still think that the fact, even when this first came out, I was just like, you really think they're going to get all that in the amount of time, like in the year that you have this set? I don't think so. That's a bit too much infrastructure. But in general, I think that if you set it like another 50 or 100 years, I think that they're pretty spot on. Yes, things are a little bit different because, like, for example, they had like the digital newspaper, whereas now you just have like, your iPad or whatever. But it wouldn't surprise me if in 50 years we do a digital newspaper type thing, just as a way to get more readers on there and just a way to have that. But it was neat to see the different ways that they implemented the technology, like the identification. I could totally see that happening real soon. But this movie it's excellent. And what I will give you the premise of is, and they go over it really right in the beginning, so I'm not really giving anything away. Basically, they have these precogs, so there's 3 of them, and they implemented an experimental program in Washington, D.C. To allow the arresting of people for pre-crime, so before they actually murder somebody, based on these precogs having these visions. And so that's where we're at, is that they've been doing this for a number of years, and they've basically been able to stop all murder in this diameter around, or this radius around these precogs, and then there's going to be a vote to see if they want to make it national, or if it's like a total usurpation of the Constitution and, just any sort of, civil rights of, like, you're arresting somebody who technically hasn't committed a crime. But I want to say that and I don't know if it's in the book because I didn't read the book, and I think that that's one of the important things is a movie that can stand on its own, even if it's based off a book or a short story or anything else. The movie has to stand on its own, and this one does. But one of the things that I really like about this is that it's one of those really difficult to explain things of, okay, but you're arresting somebody before they committed a crime, so then they didn't commit the crime, so then how do you know that they would have? And how it would be really, really easy to be on the side of people that are just like, you can't arrest somebody for not committing a crime. But how in just this one scene, and I'm not going to ruin it for you if you haven't seen the movie, because I think you'll appreciate the scene when they show it, because it's such a simple little scene where they just are like, hey, this is how we know that this would have happened. And just how they explain it is just absolutely excellent to encapsulate, just be like, oh, yeah, no, that makes total sense. And, like, I can see why this program would be around and would make sense. What doesn't make sense is how you're going to make 3 precogs be national level, because I feel like it's not, from what we saw of their abilities and everything else, I don't really feel like it's not like a technological software limitation that's artificially restricting them to this radius. I feel like it's just their abilities. So this nationwide vote, I've always been kind of confused on, of like, are they planning on making more precogs somehow? Or are they just saying that it's going to just be legal for this to happen? And maybe they'll start moving the precogs around, so you never know when they're going to be able to predict if you're trying to murder somebody. I don't know. It's always been one of those questions. But overall, this movie is fantastic. I thought that the implementation, like, oh man, I so want the push gun. That push gun is amazing, and I wish it would feature in more movies, because that thing is just absolutely awesome. I love how it works, I love how it's shown, and it's so much fun. But in general, the technology, I kind of already went over that both for all the technology that they're showing, I think it's totally like something that could happen, and I liked how they implemented it. And it's absolutely fun to see just the differences of things. and the action, so like the punchy, kicky, shooty, whatever, all that jazz was very well done. It's Tom Cruise, so you know he goes 145%, just awesome. He just is always there for all of the action pieces, and you know it and you see it, and he just phenomenal actor. And the surrounding people, even the smaller characters that only have a couple of scenes or whatever, those guys also knock it out of the park. And it's really fun to even see there's at one point where like people are saying the same lines and seeing the different ways that the delivery can be done. Oh, it's so good. Music is fantastic in this. The technology, the editing, the CGI, the practical effects, how things are done. It's just awesome. The tone of every scene is just excellent. Basically, the only two problems that I really have with this movie is the like, how are you going to make the precogs national thing that I already went over, and then there was a couple of times where I'm a little confused as to why people would be willing to do this, that, or the other thing, either for or against our main character, because it felt like there was a little bit of either motivation missing, or maybe they cut out the scene where it explained either what leverage he had over them or what would inspire them to do the things that they are doing, because it felt kind of like, okay, but why would you feel? I'm glad that you did that, and that I think that works to advance the story, but I'm confused as to why you would need to do that a little bit, and why that was the choice that was made here. So there was a couple instances of that, but definitely did not ruin my overall enjoyment of the movie. I don't think it'll ruin your overall enjoyment of the movie. I've seen it a number of times, so maybe it's just because of the number of times that I've seen it that I'm just like, wait a second, you know? But I think that you will absolutely enjoy this movie if you like one of those future, like, hey, this is how technology could go, and one future that we could have with excellent pacing, dialogue, action, Tom Cruise in it, and surrounding actors that are just excellent in it. So, have you seen this movie? Did you like it? What did you like about it? What's another movie that you think, maybe you're another Philip K. Dick translation or not, but what's another movie that you like to watch along with this one? Let me know in the comments down below. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.